So what does that mean for our beloved Bitcoin here? So Bitcoin same chart like the S&P 500, you have a series of lower lows and lower highs. So now your current lower low is that much lower. You may end up getting a lower high and resumption down. We may be uh, about to start a COVID type crash, maybe, if the S&P 500 is ready to take a drop down there. I'm not super confident in that. I think as long as we're above previous all-time highs, it's still technically bullish and we could fill out this range. But you need to be open to the idea that the weekly did close lower, expect a lower high to resume to a lower low. And we do have a bunch of area down here that really didn't get traded all that much during this markup phase. So maybe we come back down there and visit that. Not convinced of that. I do think we're trying to bottom here, and maybe we go up, and this might be the buying opportunity for the next bear market. Kind of just makes sense. But let's draw out some ranges here. We have this 8-month range here. We have the range at the lows, the reaccumulation there. So you can see between there wasn't that much trading going on there. And we have the trading range up at top that I think I had it marked like that. So there was a nice area that wasn't traded very much in between those two ranges. Maybe we're filling that out now for a little bit and then resume upward. Changing things over to log scale so we could zoom into our current area here. And like I said, weekly is making a lower low. So the weekly is in a downtrend. Currently the daily is in a downtrend as well. So you're trending down on major time frames. So your alignment is all down. So you can't be super bullish saying, hey, bottom is definitely in until it is, until you get a nice engulfing candle or some change in behavior here. But you don't really have that. Let's zoom down to the daily and see what we see here. So like I said in the last video with the daily here, there's a lot of work to do to get yourself changing behaviors here, but doesn't overall look horrible just yet. It does look like a distribution pattern, and this is the start of a markdown. They're really making it look like that. But if you take this range and you measure the height of the range, you're essentially coming down how far that range was, and that's your current low. We'll see if that low holds. You can be optimistic that, hey, maybe it holds. What type of patterns can we see coming out of here? On the daily, I'm starting to see something promising coming out of this area right here. I'm kind of expecting lower for a 3 drives lower, but doesn't necessarily have to happen, especially with the pattern that we're kind of getting now. On a closing basis, this current little bounce area here is kind of looking like that stuff up there in reverse. So you got this little candy cane going on there. This had a little candy cane there. The candles are starting to match. Now, it could come down on a wick basis, just like this wick from all-time high. Maybe you'll have a wick that takes out the low one more time that gives you that 3 drives. I'm not opposed to that, but on a closing basis, it's looking promising. So if we start to get candles, closing higher here on a daily basis, you get a daily candle close there, and then you don't close any lower candles on a daily, that's the start of something positive. But I don't think you're going to be out of the woods for a while. If you think about how the volatility comes in waves, you had a nice wave of high volatility that went to low volatility, that went to high volatility. You should have some low volatility for a while, similar to that chop. So if you have that type of chop, what if we could anticipate a pattern like this coming out of here, back up to there to wick those highs, then repeating this tightening, constricting volatility that looks like it's about to break up, and then it just comes and retags the lows again, and then from there slowly grinds up bearishly, looking very corrective. Now that would mean that maybe we don't start until May, or I mean, maybe we start from lower, but maybe we have that COVID crash scenario and we do go down much, much further, which that's what stop losses are for, and that's where we hold our invalidations. Definitely looking for closures to start, closing something different. We need a change in behavior. Currently on the daily, I mean, this is marking our daily swing high here. If we do go break the low and then close a daily candle above there, then you have the potential for a higher low, higher high, and you can get up to these areas and start taking some of this liquidity. Currently, from this current area, you would have to close above 90, 91 or so to get a higher high, look for a higher low, trade it up, but you might be finding resistance here for a while if we're repeating that pattern over here. Yeah, I don't see us getting super volatile, like moving up really quickly out of here. If we were to do that, I'd be caught off guard. I'd find a lower time frame positioning to ride that up, but it would be hard for me to make a video to say, hey, here we go. So for now, conservatively speaking, kind of expecting that leg to come up here and then flag out, break the low, and then resuming higher. But the only thing I can really match is the way that that's acting, the way that that was acting. Everything in between here, I don't have good matching structures that I can go off of, with the exception of that, potentially be matching that. But then what's this in the middle that doesn't really fit very well the way that I look at things, but it's just price action. You take what you can get. So optimistically, we're looking to match that. Stop loss would go at the low. If you get wicked out, look for a higher high close and try to take it again. That becomes your stop loss. I do have a potential idea where this would be going lower, as low as 67,000, to make a 50% retrace of kind of the entire rally from 2024, and then start something like a 786 retrace back up, take that liquidity, then back down and make a really, really large triangle. Not my base case, but if price does get down to 67,000 and then bounces from there, that's definitely something to watch for, is for a giant triangle to be playing out. And then, of course, the triangles can break up or down. So if we do start that, maybe it makes some kind of weird triangle in this range and then breaks down for a COVID crash sometime in May. Something to watch out for. Really, the only advice that I can give, that's reasonable here, is watch the trend. Watch your trend. The trend is your friend. We need a change in behavior. So if this does go down from here, hey, maybe you find a swing high here. Let it go down. And then there's your higher high. Then you're buying down here and you miss this little tiny bit down there. And then you ride it up into liquidity, take some profits, and see if you can find another entry. It's kind of the way that I look at it. Like I said in the previous video before the breakdown, or no, after it broke down, I don't care how far down this goes. What I care about is a reclaim of that range, which it did on a closing basis, and it came right back down. So I want to see it get up here and hold strength above support and maintain that, which we may be under this for a little bit and repeat this leg, getting on top of it just barely, and then break out. It's kind of the way the box kind of looks for now, if you're using this entire box here. So you've filled out the price range in the upper portion of this box. Now we're below support. Maybe this fills out, kind of repeating this price action here before breaking out, in which case this splitting line right here would have you repeating this type of price action sometime probably in May before jumping to show of strength, just like this, and then continuation for a bit. Target for that would be somewhere around 80, 180,000, 170, 180,000, which we can measure that right now. I'll take it from this second lowest leg to the high to our current low. If that low does hold, you have a minimum 160, max was about 196 on a closing basis. That would be a daily close. I'd expect it somewhere in that vicinity. Wicks can go wherever they want, but on a closing basis, that's kind of the target. 4-hour chart here, not looking horrible locally. See what happened with price action here. You had support, comes up, breaks support, and then comes back into that trading range, and then finds support at previous support. I actually did enter a small long there. We'll see if it goes. Stop loss is currently at 79. Let's see, 79,815. Let's call it. It's just right at that low, and we'll see if it goes. If this closes a higher high on a 4-hour, I'd look to buy another higher low. See if I can add to it. First take profit is at that liquidity where I was targeting before at 87,000. Take a little off there and see if we get continuation. Yeah, this might chop a little bit. If it mimics that leg, you have a move up and then some chop and then continuation. But we'll see. We'll see what kind of price action we get. Maybe we get a strong Friday. They have a VIX crush Friday maybe, and this rallies back up. It should be pretty promising. If I get stopped out on the current trade, you do have support down there at 78,000 from that previous wick. Maybe price holds there. I mean, you'd have a very tight stop loss there at 76. And then see if that is support. We would take out this wick barely, and that would be your stop loss, and see if you can get this liquidity. If it does come down from here, if it closes the higher high, I'd expect the daily open to hold as support at 81,073, and then see if we can get some further pushing up. Originally, my idea was thinking that this was going to match up here, but that no longer matches. Those don't look right anymore. So it's doing something different. So how different is it? This could be ready to go. Cautiously optimistic, I guess. So I think in the last video I was anticipating this move to go like that. Well, since that didn't make target and repeat that leg, I'm not going to get that 3 drives down. Something else is happening in my view. So this can be some kind of ABC that goes up like that. Maybe you're repeating this leg. We'll see, but it doesn't look the same. It's not very impulsive. Like this was impulse, sideways, impulse. You'd expect this to be impulse, sideways, impulse to match that. So those don't look like they're matching to me. So I'm kind of expecting that maybe we get a little higher here. And then, like I said, chop out volatility below previous supports. Kind of the idea. So see if maybe we get a Friday close somewhere up by like 86 or something like that, and chop for the weekend a little bit, push up into Sunday, closed over here, and then pull back down at the beginning of the week, and then chop up. So I'm cautiously optimistic. We'll see if we get some more upside price action. In Elliott wave terms, you kind of have a wave 1, wave 2, and maybe this kind of 3, 4, 5. You just kind of 5, pull back down, and then look like it's about to go, and then it just doesn't. And then it does. So expect some lowered volatility, some sideways for the weeks to come. In my view, I don't think we're going to get anything impulsive in this kind of current daily cycle or this first portion of the daily cycle. I think that comes in the second half of this daily cycle. So definitely don't want to see that current low break. If it does, expect 73,800 and probably as low as 66,6666, just as a joke, just to say they can push it down there. Previous all-time high at 73,800 though is an area for another bounce. But I'd watch for that 66,666 just because that's what the markets do. The market, Bitcoin market, they seem to like to put it at the 6666 number. Satanist people trading this. So that's what I got for now. I'll try to have a better update over the weekend on what I'm seeing. But yeah, keep your stops tight and have a good night.